All right, so this is episode 3, and my co-host on this one is Rich, aka Zach Mild, if you're yacht. This episode is also the Yacht Rock review, because we went and saw the Yacht Rock review, and now we're reviewing it. If you enjoy this podcast, please subscribe on iTunes or the RSS feed, or however you subscribe to podcasts. Hopefully by the time this episode goes up, I will have all the technical concerns taken care of and everything will look all professional and whatnot. If you have any suggestions for topics, music that you think is bad and you think that we should listen to it and tell other people why it's bad and they should feel bad if they listen to it, send your suggestions, inquiries, and of course hate mail to hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com. Send emails to it. I will receive them. But okay, now we'll start for real-ish. But so we're going to talk about, we went to see some shows 2 weeks ago now. When did this happen? I don't remember.
I don't know. It's New York, so time is an illusion.
Yeah, lunchtime, doubly so. Okay, so we went to see the Yacht Rock review. I'm going to keep the background short, which is basically, if you haven't seen I guess you could call it a web series, Yacht Rock, go to YouTube, type in Yacht Rock HD. There's like a full playlist of the whole thing in like good quality. It was written by J.D. Riznar and I think Eric Falconer, although I always forget the other guy. And it's really awesome.
It is no small phenomenon. I believe the dudes in Toto sort of credited it for them still getting gigs.
Yeah.
Was how much this series did for the popularity of Yacht Rock.
Yeah, it's one of those things where even though it was, only popular online and I'm sure it didn't make anybody money, but it still had the significance that weirdly like looped around. And then I also consider it personally significant because it really
changed my life.
Yeah, no, it really actually got me into the music.
To smooth music.
To really smooth music. And yeah, so you should go watch that and, maybe we just change your life.
Right, so the additional background people need is that it's not just like we're like, oh, we watched this and we're like, oh, hey, it'll be fun. Let's go to the Yacht Rock show. Like, this has been the prevailing joke for the last 2 years of my life.
Yeah.
So Kim Dilla, some of you may know her. She was the singer in Guar for a minute. She owns a clothing company, if you're unaware. It's called Killa Custom Rockwear. So little shout out there, Kim, and your clothing company. She made me a jacket. It is my friend Peter had the brilliant idea. You know how like metal dudes have their denim jackets with all their band patches. He was like, you need a Yacht Rock patch jacket. Yeah. And we were like, yes. And so I can't recall if it was Peter's idea or if it was Kim's idea, but someone was like, okay, get a seersucker blazer and a fix. And so Kim has the ability, she can make patches. So it's not like, because I don't even know, did they ever make a Doobie Brothers patch? Like, I don't know. They certainly didn't make a Christopher Cross patch. I'm willing to bet money on that. Yeah. So she made patches for Kenny Loggins, Christopher Cross, the Doobie Brothers, Steely Dan, Hall & Oates. And there's like an anchor on the lapel and a captain's wheel on the shoulder, and then the back is the gigantic Toto back patch, but on a captain's wheel. It's quite a sight to behold. So I spent real money, and someone spent their hard artisanal time to create this jacket because I needed to rep Yacht Rock that hard, and
that you've been wearing it to a lot of metal shows.
I've been wearing it everywhere where social convention is not important.
Right.
So basically anywhere that's not the office. And actually there's a few good stories. I went to see Cleric back in October, and I was buying Cleric merch, right? I was buying a shirt because their merch is super comfy, and also if you haven't you haven't heard Cleric, like the best touring band today, I would say is Meshuggah, and then it's Cleric. We're actually going to go see them later today. Imagine that. But so they weren't at the booth yet because they just played their set, and it was Trey from Mr. Bungle and Secret Chiefs. He was working the table, and so I buy my merch from him. And then he says to me, he goes, "Hey man, it's not every day you see somebody repping Hall and Oates." It's like, that's pretty much all we've been listening to in the van.
What?
Yeah, and I was like,
man.
Nice. It's some real smooth music.
That's awesome.
And the story actually gets way crazier, but it's not relevant to this. But I just want to say that jacket, and so by the transitive property Yacht Rock, it's opened some doors, and it's taken me on some voyages.
Some really smooth voyages. So fast forward, we've gradually been discovering that there are all these Yacht Rock cover or tribute acts, depending on how you look at them. And one of them was in New York, the Yacht Rock Revue, and I think they claim to be like the biggest one, right? Don't they have some claim that they're like the number one?
I don't know that for a fact, but that's probably a claim that they can justifiably
It could
make.
just be that they all have that claim. I'm just getting used to seeing like the number one, because they just assume they're the only one.
No, because I think like those guys we met at NAMM were like, we're the biggest yacht rock band in Canada. Like I think everybody's got their thing.
That was Pleasure Cruise, right?
Pleasure Craft, I thought.
Pleasure Craft. Oh, Craft. There's also a Pleasure Cruise.
I can't remember.
They're both, I think, like smooth cover bands.
But I
think you're right. It's Pleasure Craft.
I also started talking to that guy because of an article of clothing. He had those crazy patched leather shoes that I was like, what is that? And then I wasn't even wearing the jacket, and he was like, Yacht Rock, and I'm like, how do you know?
Nice.
No, but so right, the Yacht Rock Revue. So that makes this episode
this is the Yacht Rock review.
Yeah.
And which is interesting because I also came up with a new potential podcast segment. I don't have one ready for this one, but in the future I will be doing the review, not to be confused with this particular review, but it will be me reviewing bad music reviews because they're all basically worthless.
Because people who write about music are usually not the people that should be writing about music.
Yeah. And at this point, any like commercial reviews are so lost in this weird world of like indie cred and like abstract music values that basically as soon as you learn about music, you're like, so that's all nonsense. And like some of it like makes some sense, but it's like all very intuitive and like it's like holistic music review. It's like I really believe like like and but then I also think that's where a lot of like the whole like retro regressive rock
is
from.
All the rage. I think the main thing you can tell from reading music reviews, which is something I rarely do, but it's usually that these people don't know a lot of music, or they don't know a lot of music that doesn't sound a lot like whatever the thing it is they're reviewing is.
Because they basically set out to tell everybody what the best symphonic blackened folk metal album is. And so, the 10 people who are trying to figure that out, they're like, no, but trust me.
What's your favorite one, Matt? Because I don't know that I have a favorite one. Frozen Northern Moonforest. No, it's Cold Lake. Celtic Frost. Before everyone on the internet
what was
gets
the
mad at
name
me.
of the black metal band that only plays the Ice Cream Truck song?
I forget.
Or
See,
like I
this
said,
is why
honestly,
I write down all my fake band names.
Right. I don't know if we actually had a name for it. But the thing is, again, I think there are enough Ice Cream Truck songs out there that you could put together an album.
Well, especially because like many seminal metal albums were only like half an hour long.
Yeah.
So yeah.
Also, it would follow with a lot of classic black metal bands to make the one album and then do nothing for 20 years, other than like, work at a supermarket in Norway or something.
Goes both ways.
Yeah.
I wrote that down.
Okay. Related or just
was it
like note to self goes both ways?
No, I'm surprised you don't remember that. So what I do have, I have that note, Defilers, but I don't think that's. I mean, you see the second note, which is sounds like it would be related, but I don't. I don't remember why. I write a lot of notes to myself that later don't make sense.
Yeah.
So anyway.
So the Yacht Rock review. So I go into something like this with a certain amount of, I sort of, curb my expectations, so to speak. So I watched their little like trailer / promotional clip on YouTube, and it seemed pretty decent. I mean, I could tell they weren't gonna like be busting out Steely Dan deep cuts and doing like crazy. I forget the fucking guitar player's name. Like they're not going to do Kid Charlemagne.
There were so many guitar players in Steely Dan. You could probably literally name any guitar player from the 70s, like, and he would be in Steely Dan.
None of them are popping into my mind, but there was a specific one, but that whatever. Anyway, so they weren't going to be doing anything crazy like that, but there were a bunch of good, legit Yacht Rock songs in that clip. My assumption is they played them all at the end because we did not stay for the entire thing, nor do I think I wouldn't have been able to wait for the good shit. By the time it would have come on, I would have been so annoyed with what we did see that I would have just been furious.
So spoiler alert. We left the show not even 45 minutes in.
Yeah.
It was...
I think it was more than that, though. I thought it was like an hour.
No, we didn't. We didn't even
like
make
an
it.
Hour?
It just felt like 2 hours. No, well, you have to remember, we showed up before they started playing.
Oh, that's true. We showed up really early.
We showed up early, which I probably actually had a better time before they went on.
Yeah,
because the crowd was hilarious. So this was a key component of really understanding the experiences. Is we have to establish who it is that goes to this sort of thing, and there's 2 important points. The first important point is we were the youngest people there. And I have to preface that with, we are not young. Like, so we're at that age where someone might refer to us as young, but anyone who would do that is clearly older than us.
Yes.
No actual young person or no unbiased observer would think that we're young.
Right. Granted, we do get occasionally mistaken for, or at least I get mistaken for somewhat younger, but once I clear that up, then it's like people understand that it is not young.
The range that I get, because I make everyone guess my age because I'm a jerk, and it's hilarious. Except those 2, where were they from? Denmark? Those girls from Amsterdam. These girls from Amsterdam at the Standard refused to guess my age. They were adamant about it, how it wasn't fun. So whatever. So except people from Amsterdam,
they were not into really smooth music, by the way.
They were not. We asked. So people who are not from Amsterdam guess my age anywhere from 24 to 39. And before I cut my hair, it was consistently people would guess 24. That was a really common guess. Yeah. Which baffles me because I have gray hair. So I don't know why you would guess 24, but whatever.
Yeah.
I guess at bars, people learn their powers of observation.
Yeah. Before I had any amount of facial hair, I always got about 24 as well, and now I can push it to like late 20s usually, but I rarely get like over 30. Or if they think they're being like clearly like, oh yeah, I bet you're 30, and I'm like,
I'm like, I don't know. See, if they guess young, I'm like, I must look pretty good, and if they guess old, I'm like, I must sound like I've done a lot of stuff. So there's no guess that offends me,
right? Exactly. I don't know. Right now, if I actually get older, then I'm like, yeah, I'm looking sophisticated these days.
I look like I might have money. I bought these clothes from the original retailer. These were not a thrift store buy because I have adult money.
What's the opposite of a thrift store other than obviously every other store?
Stylist.
Yeah.
Yeah. I have one.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, it's pretty sweet. Yeah. I think I got to make an appointment. She actually asked me to come in next week.
I looked into I forget the name of it, and I don't want to promote it anyway, but some new service where it was like, we basically online stylist where we, pick out stuff for you.
I know what that is, first of all.
Yeah.
And actually my girl works for them.
Oh, okay.
But the deal is you don't let them do it online.
Right.
You can if you're
right.
If
no,
you're
they're
in
like, if you're in New York, you can just go. And then I'm like, oh, so it's basically just a stylist.
Right.
But the other thing I realized is I was like, but I don't actually. I like the idea of like suggestions or basically like taking some of the work out. But then I was like, yeah, but like there's like here's like a box of stuff you could get. I'm like, I don't want that. I don't want they're gonna get it wrong, and so I should just do it myself.
Right. Well, it's the CD Club model, right?
Right.
Where they send you something and it's too much of a hassle to send back. that you're just like, screw it, I'll pay for it. No, that's literally, and that's a brilliant move on their part.
And you probably do get,
but
like,
I'm not that kind of mark.
Right. But if you do, the idea is you basically have to train the stylist. If you know what you're doing to some degree, train the stylist to find the stuff that you will like, and then ideally that could be a good relationship where they will just give you pieces that you will like eventually.
But the thing is, the speed of that is too slow through the mail. Like, because I go and there's still, I mean, I would say more than half the stuff they bring out, I'm like, no, I wouldn't wear this. Yeah. You know, it's you know, it is a thing. But the Yacht Rock, the smooth music.
Well, and that's what I thought about doing, because I looked at the one online, I'm like, can I just sign up for this and be like, Yacht Rock? And then just be like, and like, so just whenever they ask me a question, I send a link to like a Michael McDonald video, and then like that's how I respond, is just in Yacht Rock, and then they're like, all right, listen to this Doobie song, and then tell me which of those jackets you think I'm gonna wear. Come on.
Well, to your point, the shirt and shorts. So the shorts that I wear all the time, and the shirt that I wore to the Mermaid Parade, which is the most yacht rockin' public event anywhere. I got when my stylist, she brought the stuff out, and she goes, now, I don't know, this might be a little too Nantucket. And I said, you can't get too Nantucket. And which, when you write that down or you say it, sometimes people are like, what do you mean you can't travel to Nantucket? I'm like, no. There is no amount of Nantucket which is too much. You can't get too Nantucket. Yeah. So
you can. You just get on the Metro North. And
but I had a pretty amazing stylist. She's actually heading up her own thing in LA now.
Nice.
I don't know that they're all that yacht or that in tune. So you take your chances. But the moral of the story is, we're the youngest people at the show.
Yes, and it was. Let's see. I have the highlights of. Well, it did feel like everyone there got a babysitter. I think you said.
Right. No. This was the vibe. Yeah. The vibe at the show was, we got a babysitter. It was a Saturday night.
Yes.
Right. So it was Saturday night. So they're like, they didn't have to be at work the next day. So they're like loading up on Bud Lights and, you know, being like, hey, remember when we used to go out? Like, it was totally, you know, reliving the glory days.
And if for some reason you forgot your captain's hat, you could buy one at the show.
Yeah, so this was genius on their part. So the show was super cheap, especially for a New York show. It was like, the tickets were like $15 after the charges, you know, but those are all Ticketmaster, right? It was like $25, but it was $15. And then everyone would walk in, and then there was sort of this peer pressure effect, I guess, because you saw like a sea of captain's hats. And so they sold captain's hats at the merch booth, and that they were $15. So they pretty much doubled their money, because I think we were the only people there not wearing captain's hats. Yeah. And that's not because we're not yacht. Yeah. It's just because we're next level yacht. Like, captain's hat is the laziest way to tell people that you're yacht, because you're like, you know what? I didn't think about this at all, so I got a captain's hat.
Yeah, it's the equivalent of
the leather jacket for a metal dude, or the denim jacket.
Yeah, totally. And the other thing at the merch booth. So yeah, there's a perfectly set up merch booth.
Actually, it's more like the black T-shirt. It's like the logo-less black T-shirt.
Right. So there's all kinds of other Yacht Rock related merch, but another sort of, you know, ill omen was the Diet Rock shirt.
Oh yeah.
And I was like, no, it's not that you're not supposed to rock less. You're just supposed to rock smoother.
Yeah.
And
that shirt ain't smooth.
That's the problem. And there's this fine line between like legit yacht rock and just like soft, easy listening.
Matt, are you trying to claim that there is a true yacht rock?
Yeah, no, we're true Nantucket. True
Nantucket yacht rock. Okay,
yes.
You know, I was skeptical at first,
right?
But now I'm convinced.
Yeah, well, my upcoming album is going to be true Wisconsin yacht metal. But I think yacht rock, the truest, is definitely.
I'm more like true Newport.
True Newport.
Newport yacht metal.
Nice.
Or actually, like yacht techno. It's more. I've got this European dance influence going on.
Right, no, because what needs to happen is, at some point we're gonna make a yacht rock album, and then we're gonna do a hip hop album that samples the yacht rock album. much like a lot of the New Jack Swing stuff did, most notably Regulate samples, I keep forgetting, from Michael McDonald, which is in an episode of Yacht Rock. So again, if you haven't already watched the entire series is shorter than a movie.
The historical documents.
Because, yes, the historical documents of Yacht Rock.
You need to go watch the historical documents.
Every episode is 5 minutes. There's only really one or two like slightly weaker. It's really good, like almost throughout.
No, there's
worth
one
watching.
episode that's different.
Yeah.
And a lot of people don't think it's as good.
Yeah.
I'm one of those people.
Yeah, I agree.
But it's still worth watching.
Right. And it's one of those things where, like, again, the way Channel 101 works, they probably just were like, well, because you have to, you do a new episode every month, and then if you get enough votes, you get to do another one. And so that you're like, I don't know what the fuck we're doing. So this.
Right, they're like, I didn't sign on for this when they wrote the first one.
And the
up.
ratings dropped, but like it was good enough that people were, it was better than whatever else.
Right, it still
was
won.
Right. So they kept them going, which is great because after that there were some fantastic episodes.
The last one is
the last episode's amazing.
when Christopher Cross comes back with the shutter shades.
The Michael Jackson where they have Vincent Price like scare him. And it goes from like hard rock Eddie Van Halen Michael Jackson to Human Nature Michael Jackson.
Also, Yamo Be There.
Oh yeah,
some of the later
is fantastic.
Yeah, the Yamo Be There bit.
That's also the Kevin Bacon one.
Christopher Cross
with
bit.
Cut Foot Loose.
Yeah, those are all it's so amazing, so amazing.
All right, so back to the far less amazing Yacht Rock review.
Yeah, so here.
So basically, we finally came to the conclusion after. We did hear. Okay, let me do the set list that we do have.
What we remember hearing.
These are what we remember hearing, and for some reason we mostly remembered songs that start with S. Sarah Smile, they did, which is Hall & Oates.
That was literally
and that is legit.
The most yacht.
Yeah, that was the most like. Okay, good.
They played Sarah Smile.
They played Summer Breeze, which is smooth, but it's on the fringe. It's like a little close. It's legit, but it's a little close to
smooth. But it's very like I imagine not hang out on a boat. I imagine hang out in a van.
I was gonna say dentist office, but yeah.
No. I imagine like that '70s show. Like they're hanging out in a shaggin' wagon.
Yeah.
It's not.
Yes.
Not. I mean, like. That's some chill stuff, but that's not. I'm not on my yacht. I'm in somebody's shaggin' wagon, and my handlebar mustache is there.
Yeah, exactly.
My bell bottoms.
They did Saturday in the Park, Chicago. I'm not sure if that's the actual title of the song, but it's the one where they sing Saturday in the Park. And that is smooth, but like Chicago is one of like they're very briefly in the show because they like occasionally stumble into Yacht Rock territory, but they're really not like a Yacht Rock band.
They're not true.
They're not true.
True yacht. They're not True North.
And then Reelin' in the Years, which is a Steely Dan song, but it's like possibly the least yacht Steely Dan song.
And you brought up a good point, which is that a lot of people take umbrage with Steely Dan being yacht because they're like it's too proggy, whatever.
Yeah.
And they're legit prog yacht.
Yeah.
But man, it's so smooth.
Yeah,
it's so smooth.
Yeah,
you can't deny the Dan
of
their yachtitude.
And that was my whole thing. Like that's how I got into all of it because it was a combination of the show Yacht Rock and then every 5 years some fucking like not related. It could be a family member. It could be like a friend of a friend or some random musician. Somebody's just like. Yeah, but like Asia is the best Steely Dan album, and you got it. Like that shit, man, is like. What I'm like, what the fuck is with this fucking Asia album, which I called a jaw for like 15 years because I only saw it written on the internet.
Or Asia, like the place,
right? Which is what it's supposed to sound like, but it's written AJA, and so I was just like, what's with this Steely Dan Asia or a jaw album? And be like, what? And then I hear like Asia, and I'm like, what is this Asia album? I can't find it.
I was you're like, I've heard Asia. What did they have to do with Steely Dan?
Like Heat of the Moment? What? No, that's with like Steve Howe shit. Like no. So I finally got Asia, and it was actually pretty fucking awesome. And so I listened to the shit out of it for a while. But but that's always been my favorite Yacht Rock because it's the proggiest Yacht Rock.
Yeah, and it's pretty great. But the point is, the only yacht song that we heard while we were there was Sarah Smile.
Yeah.
And so I think this is, for me, this sums up the show for me. We were duped into paying to see a wedding band.
Yes.
It literally felt like, I mean, and even the in-between song banter, there was some D-level banter.
Yeah.
Where they were like, somebody's having a birthday out there, yeah.
Yeah, and they literally.
What's your name? Jimmy or Rebecca, yeah, clap if you're having a birthday.
Yeah.
And it was so awkward. It was wedding band.
At one point, they literally did congratulate a couple. I don't remember if they said why, but they were like, and it's a special day for these two. And I was like, this isn't a wedding, right? Like, we didn't somehow end up at somebody's wedding. But it was totally a Yacht Rock bait and switch.
Yeah, hook, line, and sinker.
Hook, line, and sinker.
We took the bait.
Yeah, but they were. I mean, okay. So like, you know, they were a pretty solid wedding band. It's just that if you tell me it's like a really good Yacht Rock cover band, it was not.
Well, yeah, and if you're gonna ask me what I want to do on a Saturday night in Manhattan, my first response is not going to be, you know, I'd go for a good wedding band right about now.
Wedding band.
It's not even in my top 20.
Yeah,
like that's. Yeah. I'm not even interested in crashing a real wedding at this point. Like I'm too old for that.
Yeah.
And I was too old, or maybe not old enough for for this band. Apparently, I don't know. So in an attempt to retain our dignity, despite the fact that I'm wearing a seersucker jacket with the Steely Dan and a Christopher Cross patch, we left.
Yeah.
But it was weird, man. It was definitely disappointing.
Yeah, well, I think we were also hoping that, because occasionally when you talk to younger people about the Yacht Rock, and you actually explain what it is, they're like, oh, no, that's cool. I like that stuff, because they're young enough to have missed the, like, decades of stigma where, like, Steely Dan is your dad's favorite, and you're like, oh, it's like dad rock, right? I'm like, is your dad really cool and into, like, awesome, like pseudo jazz music? What the fuck? You know?
No, but I actually have met a couple people, though, that is they do think it's cool because their dad.
Right, like, no, that's, well, again, it's the whole, like, you know, post-ironic, like, well, it's kind of, we thought it was cheesy, but, like, it's good, but, like...
we've been spending so much time listening to it.
Right, well, and that's the thing, is, like, now my thing is...
Who's the joke on?
Right, exactly. So, like, the thing I realize is, like, even when people are like, what the fuck? Then they're just going, what the fuck? And you're like, dude, this shit is smooth as fuck. Like, you should get in on this shit, man. You're missing out. Because
I got a boat with somebody's name on it.
Yeah, exactly. So we did have another show to go to, which was part of why we were like, I don't think we're gonna like stick this out until they play the good shit.
Yeah. So randomly, I went to an event at the Guggenheim the night before, and I met these kids, and they were like, you know, you should come to this. You should come to this show tomorrow. And I'm like, oh, we're already going to this other show, and like, yeah, well, the band, you know, they're the headliner. They're really good. Like, they're blowing up right now. Yeah,
blowing up.
They're like, I can't recall the exact thing, but it was in. They actually mentioned this during the show, though, because I mentioned this, and then they mentioned it during their set. Like, Britney Spears had just, like, tweeted or Facebooked, like, their video or whatever. And then during the show, they also mentioned that they'd made the front page of Vivo that day. And so, like, these guys were getting a push, and it was one of these deals where we were like, okay, it's probably not our thing, but this is so disappointing. Like,
yeah,
it can't be any worse than this.
Yeah, exactly. And you know, and I'm trying to go, like, I will go to a show if you tell me a band is good, I may not believe you.
When you say you don't mean me personally.
No, right? I don't mean Rich because I did
not say that the band was good.
No, and because conversely, I would believe you, Rich, because if you tell me a band's good, I believe you, and I believe that therefore there are certain reasons that you think they're good and that are verifiable. But most people, if you tell me a band is good, I'm going to be like, so you like this band, huh? But I might go see them because, I don't know, like, I'm curious about what other people listen to.
What the kids are into.
Exactly, what the kids are into.
What's hot now.
And I really got a sense of that because these guys are really nailing what the kids are into. And it was this weird... Okay, first of all, they're called the Ludlow Thieves. We're not trying to, like, hide the name of the band or whatever.
Right, Matt just gave you the big reveal. Yeah. The Ludlow Thieves. Yeah. That's who they were.
Right.
So if you want to go look them up, you can.
You can look them up. But
apparently they were on the front page of Evo, so it shouldn't be hard to find.
They have 2 videos on YouTube, and the thing I noticed is, okay, so the one that Britney Spears posted about, part of the reason they were so excited, because I was like, why are they, okay, let's find out why Britney Spears is all into this. This doesn't seem like her thing either. They're not like they're a rock band.
They're a rock band.
Straight ahead rock band, but like with enough of, there's a little hint of the sort of folky, not
right.
like
They have an electric violinist. So this is important to sort of paint the picture. They have no edge. They're not a hard rock band. Like this is not Alice in Chains or Pearl Jam or something. But it's also not smooth. It's not like soft rock. It's totally straight ahead. Like, I don't know. Was it college music? I don't think it's college music because it's not alty enough.
Yeah.
It's too straightforward.
it thinks it's more mature than that.
Right. There were no party rock songs.
Yeah.
They were all like seemed to be like about serious emotional issues, but it wasn't depressing. They were all like upbeat, straightforward songs.
I mean, none of the sort of lyrical content transferred because the fact that the way the guy sings, every syllable has to be.
Well,
like,
he really
raspy.
He really wanted to have that like whiskey scar.
Yeah. Well, like again, so there's one of the videos on YouTube is like the perfect. And we might listen to it at some point if we want, or if we really feel like subjecting ourselves to it. But
I'm okay with that.
Okay,
like
cool.
I won't enjoy it, but I'm not gonna like have
it's
a flashback.
basically like all the songs sounded like that song, and then the other one, the one that Britney Spears shared, is like the sort of ballad, which basically means it sounds more like a Mumford song. It's more just like acoustic folksy rather than rock with weird folksiness thrown in. But that same sort of like, you know, what everything kind of sounds like right now, but like somehow in a more rock band, but without still being too rock.
Yeah. So part of the other reason these guys weren't particularly hard rocking is they had no bass player.
Yeah.
So let's lay out the instrumentation. So there was a guitar player who had a bunch of different strats, but they were all strats, and apparently he wrote all the songs. And then there's two singers, the aforementioned whiskey scarred vocal dude, and then some very attractive woman. Then there was a violin player, an electric violin player, a drummer, and then a like keyboardist who was playing the bass lines.
Yeah.
So there was bass frequencies, but there was no like hard driving bass.
Yeah. And he was mostly using like a bass sound. I mean, sometimes he didn't.
The patch was very attuned to being bassy.
Right.
But it wasn't like the Seinfeld intro.
Right. Well,
like,
but that's the problem, because usually like crappy bass sounds on a keyboard, they automatically don't have any punch to them. And so, yeah, it sounds like there's a bass, but if you listen closer, sounds like, well, there's a shitty fake bass. But so yeah, so I actually think like the times when he used like an actual sound in the bass was way better actually than like faking the bass with his left hand.
Yeah.
Because his right hand wasn't doing anything that exciting either. Like he really seemed like a pretty like straightforward, like rudiment kind of keyboard player. Yeah, but
they were a really straightforward band.
Right. I mean, again, everyone in the band is kind of the same.
Yeah, no, like they had varying levels of ability, but the violinist, she was tight. The drummer was tight. Again, there was no pyrotechnics, so it wasn't like I wouldn't be like, man, go take some lessons from these guys. But they did their thing. Yeah. Those two had it down. I thought the keyboard player did fine. I think you and Beefcake had a couple of issues.
There's a few times where I felt like he was having rhythm issues, and I could see him. I mean, partially he was doing the like the swaying back and forth keyboard move, but he was doing it like slightly off time, and so I was like, are you having trouble with the rhythm? But I mean, he wasn't that bad. Like he was all right, and there was no like glaring issue, just other than it was, again, you know, fairly simple. But again, if that fits the music. The guitar player did like a few little like show-offy bits, where
they were so bad.
Right, no, but that's the thing. Okay, it was a classic example of like
guitar face.
You're like you're like a pretty good guitar player for the kind of music you play, and so like any amount of, you know,
you're being really generous.
No, but I've seen a lot of those guys, because that's like that is almost a college-y thing where it's like if you can play an actual little solo here and there, like you blow people's minds, because so many people just don't even.
Sure, but I didn't feel that he was even good at the rhythm parts. Like I thought he was.
Well, the rhythm parts were the same thing in every song.
Right, all the songs. So this is the other thing. All the songs were the same. They were all the same tempo.
One of the last songs. Okay, so one of the last songs, he took out a mandolin and started to play what I swear is the exact same part he played on the previous song on guitar, but now on a mandolin. And we were like, wait, what?
Yeah, a lot. The structure of the rhythm parts all had the same kind of thing to them too. It was. Yeah, it was a lot of sameness.
Yeah, so, like,
they found that formula,
but
though,
right,
man.
it was this weird thing where I was like, I have to give them a certain amount of credit. I feel like they're like they felt like they were really good at what they were doing. It's just that what they were doing is really mediocre.
Well, here's the other point we got to make. So we showed up to the show not really knowing what time they were going to go on.
Yeah.
We had an okay idea. We show up and we got there for the band before them, and there was no one there, and so we were kind of like, maybe this wasn't a good move. But then, like, 3 minutes before these guys started, the place filled up.
Yeah.
So there were, like, everyone that was there to see that band. They were not there, like, to see a show, like, maybe see some bands, whatever, drink at the bar. They were there to see that band because these guys were the headliners, and no one showed up until right when they went on.
And they're really blowing up right now.
And they're really blowing up
right now.
Britney Spears, I don't know if you heard, she just tweeted.
Yeah. Oh yeah. So what Britney Spears shared was this video, which they played at the end, like towards the end of their. I think it was the last song they did.
They had a projection screen.
Yeah. And the video is like the guitar player whose band it is, his grandparents who were at this show. Like it was like home videos of them throughout their entire relationship or whatever, which is great. But like, there's none of the band in the video. It's like 100%.
Well, the other thing is, it literally could have been anyone. Like, there was
Right, that was the
nothing
thing. I was like,
to indicate
I don't know who these people
that
are.
there was a connection. I literally could go on YouTube and like abscond someone's home movies and like make up some story
and put sad music to it,
and you wouldn't know.
Right.
And that's kind of how I felt about this, because I was like, why do I care?
Right.
Like, there was no connection.
and that was the thing. And so Britney Spears shared that, and I'm like, why? Okay, I'm curious. Why is Britney Spears of all people like, this is really what I got to get behind? So I looked, and it was like, oh, and it was precisely the same thing. It was a good gimmick of like this, gimmick of like this, really personal, emotional, like genuine thing. But it turns out that it's also the gimmick that gets Britney Spears to share it. But like no mention of the music. Like there's nothing about the song even. It was just like, this is so nice that they have all this footage of their relationship, and it's really touching and blah blah blah, and you should watch it. But like,
and there happens to be music.
Right. Nobody is like,
well, it's literally incidental music, right?
Right.
Yeah. Literally.
Yeah. And so and it really just plays like, it almost plays like, oh, nice video. Whose song is that? like a family, video. In fact, my family, like my dad and my uncle, make those kind of things for our family all the time. Like these like tribute videos of like, oh, it's so-and-so's 60th birthday, or it's your wedding.
So Matt, when's our crappy rock band play in Brooklyn?
Yeah, well, no, that's the thing, is like,
get me some footage.
The problem is, I've been exposed to a lot of that type of video, and like, I guess fairly high quality. So even for what it was, I'm like, this isn't a very good like compilation of family videos at all. Even so, really, it's not even.
So you were snobbing it on another level.
I snobbed it on all kinds of levels.
On all levels.
Well, and again, like, but more than anything, one of my sort of like, I guess you could call it a pet peeve, because it's like, it doesn't affect me that if other people don't know how to like market themselves. But I occasionally am like, when I see bands just do dumb stuff, like, again, there's no like, cut in footage of the band or something. Like, you don't need to like take people to this other world where some couple that you don't know is growing old together,
high-fiving grandma at some point,
right? Like, again, like, or maybe
shoot some new footage,
with them there or something, like tie it together, like, just,
I feel it.
So
there's an important detail that we left out, though, which in your defense shows just how appropriate your snobbery was. This was at Music Hall of Williamsburg.
Oh yeah.
So snob ground zero, pretty much.
Yeah, exactly.
Although Williamsburg is significantly less hipstery than it was. It used to be. The days of art student cosplay parade are over. Like, I was wearing that jacket, and I was the biggest asshole. I'm not sure how I felt about that. I mean, normally I'd feel great. But repping Yacht Rock after that show, it felt really weird.
It's rough, because I that was the first time I also had like been to Brooklyn in a while, and saw like at like what I thought was going to be hipster central, and then it was like
lawyers after work enjoying a nice cocktail
enjoying some nice modern rock and roll music.
New York is changing, but
From
I
the
mean
Revue.
that's kind of the thing. It's always changing.
Yeah.
But the no, but to their point, and this is this is a point that I think is important to make. Tons of people came. They gave those people what they wanted.
Yeah.
So from a business standpoint, from a satisfying expectation standpoint, these guys were spot on. They had it together. Everyone there that wasn't us was like so and even like somebody's parents showed up, right?
Yeah.
What do you think it was like? You thought it was the guitar player's parents?
Well, no, those grandparents were at that show.
Oh, I didn't see the grandparents.
Yeah, because they called them out at some point. I still had to like figure out half this retroactively online, but like those were the grandparents from the video.
You did,
which means they're still
someone's
alive.
in the research department here.
Which means they're still alive, which is good because at first I was like, "Is this video going to end with them dying? Because that's going to be sad."
It got dark real
It's going
quick.
to get real sad.
It's gonna get real dark
they're
real quick.
alive and they were there and they're his grandparents because the band is completely. Also, he's like his girlfriend is the hot singer who only sings backup for 90% of the time for some reason.
she sang that one song.
Yeah, one song.
Yeah, she wasn't very good though. But again, she was at the functional level of the band.
Right, that's the thing
Like,
though.
she
I felt
wasn't-
like she was good enough to like at least do more than like raspy pants because like he was basically rasping up the parts where he would have had pitch issues.
Yeah, I mean everyone.
She just didn't have a gimmick to cover up her pitch
Everyone
issues
was
yet.
pretty mediocre.
Yeah.
I feel like the violinist was probably actually pretty good. You just didn't see it.
Yeah.
Because that wouldn't have suited the music.
Yeah.
But everyone in this band was shockingly mediocre, and everyone there was digging it. They were so psyched. They were having a great time.
Yeah.
So, again, like I always say, music business is a business whose product happens to be music.
Yeah. No, that's what the kids are listening to these days. So there you go. Hey, at least it's a band. I mean, it's an actual band where everybody played an instrument and, there were no like backing tracks or anything. So technically they got one up on some metal bands at this point with that.
A lot of dudes I went to school with.
Yeah, a lot of people using backing tracks. So yeah, once again I forgot to actually, set a timer so I could keep track of how long, but that's
okay.
It's probably been the appropriate amount of time.
You just let it flow, man.
Right, because so we covered both those shows we went to. We're gonna go see Cleric tonight and tomorrow night.
Yeah. So
how many? Yeah, how many did they do in like a whole week or what was?
So they have a residency at the Stone. For those of you who don't know, the Stone is John Zorn's venue in New York City. It's at 2nd Street and Avenue C. They play a lot of. If you are unfamiliar with John Zorn,
you can't go to it, by the way, because by the time I post this, it will be long over. But
if you tried to,
you can still look up Cleric.
Write us about how you tried to go and how disappointed you are. Matt, what's the hate mail
that's
address?
Right. I forget. And please, as always, direct all inquiries and hate mail to hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com. And if I'm not going to spell it out because if you have trouble with which mail or which your, then it's cool. I don't need to hear from you anyway.
That's a good point. It's filtering
And if you want to
mechanism.
complain about how I just insulted people with bad spelling, then send that to hatemail@yourmusicisbad.com.
And forward everyone else's mail.
Yes.
So John Zorn is a avant-garde musician, and this is his space, and lots of weird stuff gets played there, and he does it sort of more in the like art house or new music way where they're residencies. So Cleric has had a residency all week. I have not gone to the other shows because the format for them has been like duos. And they've been playing other stuff, and one that didn't sound terribly exciting. Like, and I've had stuff to do because it's New York, and when you live here and you work here, you're busy. If I had nothing to do, I probably would have gone. But tonight they're playing their album Regressions in its entirety, which should be amazing. And then tomorrow they're playing the new album, which I believe is called Retrocausal. But don't quote me on that because I might be wrong. But they're playing the new album in its entirety tomorrow. So we're going to both these shows. My expectation is they're going to be super amazing because, like I said, Meshuggah's probably the best touring band right now, and I would say Cleric is number 2. The thing that I'm wary about is I've been to the Stone before. Admittedly, I haven't been in a long time because, for those of you who don't know, I left New York and I just moved back a couple months ago. And when I've been to the Stone before, it's not like a bar, right? It's not like any of these other places, not like Music Hall of Williamsburg, there's not an elevated stage and then a floor that's kind of sticky. It's a room and there's folding chairs. So if you've ever been to a Meshuggah show, right? Imagine if you were asked to do that sitting in a chair. This could be. I don't know what I'm gonna do. If they ask me to sit down, I don't know what I'm gonna do.
Yeah.
Because that's not really. I mean, this stuff is intense. These guys are intense. This should be awesome as long as I'm not sitting down in a folding chair. But again, I haven't been there in a long time, so maybe it's different now.
Yeah.
Maybe they realize because this band's so briv that no chairs allowed. I don't know, but we'll see. It could go either way. And maybe we'll have to do a review of it if it really, really goes, unfortunately.
I mean, we can do a positive review. It just won't take as long, I think.
And I think it'll be less hilarious. I don't think anyone cares about us geeking out. I think it's funnier.
There's going to be there's always going to be a little bit, because I want to always keep the balance of by the way, I like a lot of music too. I'm actually really pretty into music.
Yeah, people used to ask,
I hate everything,
This guy I went to grad school with, I saw him last year, and he was like, yeah, I mean, you were always pretty critical of stuff. He's like, is there music you like? And I was like, yes, there's a ton. Yeah. It's just not. And I was like, here, let's listen to Scrabbin'. And he's like, this is amazing. Thank you for showing me this. And I'm like, you're welcome. Yeah. Thank you for asking.
I recently, on a podcast, heard The Perfect Justification. And this was possibly the final, yeah, I should make a podcast where I'm just the snobbiest music snob I could ever snob. And I think it was Dan Harmon, but I think it was on Pete Holmes' podcast. And he said that, the thing about the music snob and why he doesn't want to hate too hard on the music snob is that, okay, so maybe that dude is, annoying and, way too into his opinions and shit, but he's the one who told you about that really awesome band you never would have heard about otherwise. And, when I got all my roommates in college into Pain of Salvation somehow, I mean, it took a few years, but eventually they, I got 4 dudes who were not into any prog when I met them, and then all of a sudden they're like, yo, you got that new Pain of Salvation? Let's hear that shit.
You know what's funny? When I first heard that band, I didn't like them.
Really?
And because...
Well, I didn't either.
Well, it was. I heard it, and I was like, I don't really like this, but there was something about it where I was like, I need to keep listening to this. Something made me keep listening to it, and then eventually I was like, this is the greatest stuff ever. But I remember the first few times I spun it, I wasn't really... I was like, yeah.
Yeah, I was kind of the same way. In fact, I had I tried once and then was like, eh. And then a while later, my friend Chris, who we both know from the Prague Power Festival, he was like, no, really, you should seriously listen to them. And I was like, I'll try one more time. And then that time it worked. But we won't get into the whole thing because you're right. It will be far less entertaining if we just geek out about shit.
Like that bit.
I'm going to come up with... Right, no, that wasn't... Yeah, well, we should have probably stopped anyway by now, but...
Whatever, the magic of editing.
I'm gonna come up with some way to, formulate it so I can do a little bit of, geeking out, but then somehow flip it and make it okay and properly snobby.
We can
and make somebody hate me.
We can have an interlude break where we just... play something amazing.
Well, I was going to make it... No, it was going to be the, not shitty thing of the week, right? One little thing that you can talk about for, 5-10 minutes tops about how good something is, and then back to shitting on other shit. Right? That sounds like a good format.
I would scale down the 5 to 10 minutes to, a minute.
We stop and say, by the way, this is good, you should listen to it. All right, back to how awful everything else is.
Matt, tell us how we should feel about this.
Thank you. Feel bad. Very bad. All right. Well, that should do it for this one. See you next time. We'll probably talk about Cleric or whatever.